In the lead up to the election, each of the three major parties has introduced a number of very interesting tax measures. Let's take a quick look at some of them. First of all, let's begin with the Liberals. They looked at a number of innovative things. One of them is called the tax-free first home savings account. That would allow Canadians under the age of 40 to save up to $40,000 for a home purchase. We don't have a lot of details about that, but given the housing crisis and certainly some parts of Canada, that might be helpful to younger Canadians looking to buy their first home. They're going to do other things for those of us who have been working from home, the home office expense deduction. They're going to extend that simplified method and increase the annual amount to $500 a year. That'll be for the next couple of years. And of course, what's gotten a lot of attention is the hike in the income taxes on the banks, where profits exceed $1 billion. Now, one of the things that they have looked at specifically to target high-income individuals is a special minimum tax. So we already have an AMT, an alternative minimum tax, but what the Liberals are proposing is that individuals in the top tax bracket will pay tax at a minimum rate of 15% without regard to any deductions or various tax credits. So again, that's something that's new that's been introduced. There's a bunch of other smaller things, things like a home appliance repair credit, where if you have repairs of up to $500, you get a 15% credit. That'd be worth $75. Moving on now to the Conservative Party. I think the big news for some people that are looking to make some purchases in the fall is that they're promising 1 month of GST-free purchases at retail stores. So that would be something to stimulate the economy. That'll be interesting. Number of credits that the Conservatives have been proposing as well. A rebuild Main Street tax credit, which would be a 25% credit on investments in small businesses up to $100,000. That's over 2 years. To encourage Canadians to travel in Canada, a vacation expense tax credit. That's a 15% credit for 2022 for Canadian vacations up to $1,000. And those are the main things. There's a few other things for small businesses and some things for mental health and for disability tax credit. But for the most part, those are the main platforms, not a lot there. And then finally, in the NDP platform, we have some major proposals. Number one, the increase of the capital gains inclusion rate, which is now 50%. That will go up to 75%. Increase in the top marginal tax rate, which is now 33% federally. That would go up to 35%. And of course, the wealth tax, a 1% wealth tax on individuals with over $10 million in wealth. They would bump up the corporate tax rates, reversing the tax rate reductions back to 2010 levels. And they would introduce an excess profit tax for COVID-19, which is a tax on large corporate windfall profits occurred during the pandemic. And finally, they would introduce a foreign buyer's tax for residential property, a 20% tax on the cost of foreigners buying residential property in Canada. So there you have it, all three parties, some of the major announcements. We don't have a lot of details there. Certainly there's lots more. For more information, you certainly can go on to any of the parties' websites and download their detailed plan, which has details about all of these proposals and many more.